Hey everyone, it's Naki, and you may be here on this video because maybe lately something in you just does not feel the same as it used to before. Maybe you feel like you're waking up with a heaviness on your chest that you really just can't explain, or the things that you used to care about all of a sudden just feel distant, and you really don't feel like you're falling apart exactly, but you're also not really sure about who you're becoming. And that's what I want to talk about today, is that in-between feeling. It's like a quiet shift where nothing is really wrong with you, but at the same time, nothing really feels familiar either. And that's often what represents the beginning of an awakening. And I'm not talking about the flashy kind of awakening, not the everything is love and light awakening, but the real kind. And I'm mentioning the kind that starts on the inside, in the subtle ways that your thoughts, your feelings, and your sense of awareness begin to rearrange themselves. The truth really is that most people, when they get to this point, miss the signs, or they misinterpret it and they think that something is wrong with them when it's actually a sign of some type of deep growth. So I want to get into the different signs that you may have when you're going through this process, and what you might be experiencing when you're waking up, even if you don't realize it at the moment. So the first sign, or sign number one, is that you're feeling disconnected from things that once felt really comfortable for you. You might start to notice that you're not as drawn to just certain people or habits or just certain environments that you used to spend a lot of time in. And it's not because you're suddenly just feeling like you're too good for situations, or you're too good for these people that you used to have around. It's just that your body and your mind don't feel as at home there anymore. It's as if something inside of you knows that you've outgrown these spaces. Even if you haven't figured it out or figured out what comes next, this disconnection that you're starting to feel right now can kind of be confusing, and you might feel a little bit of guilt for not wanting to keep up the same conversations, or just having anxiety about being seen as distant or not interested, or something in you has changed. But the truth is that this is your system telling you that the old version of life is no longer fitting for you. Get to sign number two. And sign number two is that your emotional reactions are getting louder and at the same time more honest. So you may be noticing yourself crying more, be getting irritated more, or feeling like your emotions are just a little bit closer to the surface than what they normally are. And that's not a sign of regression. It's actually a sign of gaining clarity, because that's you no longer suppressing the things that you used to bury deep down inside of you in order to be able to keep the peace around you. It's as if now you're actually feeling things now, instead of just numbing yourself out or pushing them down or pushing through things. And while it might feel like it's an inconvenience at this moment, it's actually one of the clear signs that your awareness and being more in tune with yourself, and your awareness is expanding, and you're not just operating out of just simple habit anymore. You're actually paying attention to what's happening and what you're feeling. Number three is that you actually find yourself wanting more solitude, being by yourself more, and just around less noise. Because there's this myth that people who want to be alone are avoiding something. But what's really happening often during an awakening is that solitude becomes like a type of medicine. And I'm not talking about isolation, I'm not talking about hiding, but taking intentional space where you can actually begin to think clearly, be able to breathe more deeply, and really start to hear your own inner voice again. It'd be very disorienting if you were someone who was always just happened to be on the go, always in conversations with other people, but now you're feeling that pull towards stillness, and that desire may not be available 24/7. That's your nervous system that's recalibrating. That's your spirit that's starting to ask for your attention. These are important things to pay attention to. Sign number four is that you begin reflecting on your past with a new set of eyes. So you may start revisiting old situations that you've been in, or thinking about past versions of yourself or old memories, but not in a way to shame yourself. Instead, you're actually starting to begin to understand why you did the things that you did at that point in time. And you're starting to see certain patterns that were taking place. The protections and the choices that you made with the information that you had at that time. And this shift towards having compassion towards yourself is actually very powerful, because when you're having an awakening, it's not just about becoming like a better person or a better version of yourself. It's just about becoming someone that is more honest. And really that includes just how you're able to relate to your past. Sign number 5 is that you're no longer able to just go along with things or just to keep the peace or to avoid conflict, whether it's on social media or conversations that you're having or just a particular relationship dynamic that you may be in. Something inside of you just won't let you pretend that everything's okay anymore. It's like you don't want to fake the happiness or the enthusiasm, and you don't want to just go along with things or agree to things that don't really sit right with your spirit. Even if you don't always say things out loud, your inner world is actually reacting differently at this point in time. So it's like that urge to protect your peace and to be able to preserve your own authenticity and to stop really performing for people. That is another sign of awakening. This means that you're starting to live more in alignment and not living by obligation. So here's what I really want you to know about this whole process. Awakening isn't just always some type of big grand show. It's not always graceful or inspiring. A lot of the times it's actually just very quiet. Sometimes it can be uncomfortable and even a little bit boring, because you won't always be able to explain what's happening or what you're experiencing to other people. And really, truly, you may not even be able to explain it to yourself. The truth is your patterns are changing. Your level of awareness is starting to expand beyond where it was before. And even your intuition will start getting louder. And it's like, even if you don't have all the answers or know how to put it in words exactly, still a shift that you feel inside of you. And it matters and it's real. And I want to let you know that you're allowed to honor it, even if no one around you can fully or completely understand what's going on or what you're experiencing. So if you've been having any of these symptoms or these signs, I just want to let you know you're not the only one. And you don't really have to rush through everything to get it all figured out. This is really the part of your journey where it's just about observation and not about needing to fix things, and having more curiosity instead of perfection. Let me know down in the comments below if you've been feeling any of these signs or anything these things feel familiar to you, and whether or not you're in a season of quiet growth and awakening. I'd love to hear what's been shifting or what's been changing for you. And if you want more grounded conversations like this one, where we can talk about spirituality and self-growth and evolution, please subscribe here to the channel, because I love to make content about inner growth, energy alignment, and what it feels like to grow and evolve beyond the conventional topics. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.